Welcome to Tales from the Switch Vault, where I, Jim, look back at some of the weird and wonderful games on the Nintendo Switch. This time I administrate in 2 Point Hospital. Released originally on PC in August 2018, the game was ported to Xbox One, PS4 and Nintendo Switch in February 2020. The first game from British game developer 2 Point Studios, it was the spiritual successor to the classic 90s PC game Theme Hospital. A title I adore to this day, and having some of the original people work on 2 Point Hospital gave high hopes for fans of a more niche genre on the Switch at that time. The game has you play as a hospital administrator, tasked with running hospitals from across 2 Point County. The player must hire staff, build rooms to treat patients, and ensure that amenities are provided to keep everyone happy. The game builds up gradually, slowly introducing you to the different and deep mechanics it has. There are a ton of hospitals spread across the world map, and you are tasked with earning 3 stars in each of them by completing objectives. These can range from earning a certain amount of money, training staff, or making the hospital much more attractive. There are multiple objectives for each star, so it requires a balancing act, particularly if you're trying to hit something like a cure rate. The core aim is to cure patients, ensuring that they stay relatively happy, fed and watered whilst they wait for diagnosis and treatment. As long as you have the right room, it's relatively simple to treat them. It's staff where things are more complicated, and they are crucial to ensuring your medical institution runs well. You hire from a list of potential employees, each with different personal traits. Grumpy is a super annoying one, alongside medical abilities such as surgery or improved diagnosis. You have a starting pile of cash and must ensure that you cure enough patients to keep paying the staff wages, have enough left over to expand. If a treatment fails and the patient dies, you still get the money, but it's your hospital reputation that takes a hit. This is another mechanic to balance. The higher the rep, the more patients you can attain and get more cash. Hit 3 stars and then move on. Visually, it's a fantastic looking game. They've really gone all out to ensure that every part of the game has character. It's not just a drab, sanitary white look throughout. The game encourages you to decorate with plants, posters, even art pieces. Going through the different regions, each hospital has its own flavour. I'm a big fan of the pyramids from Pebbly Island DLC. Even the people have great designs. They have a similarity to Aardman Animation's Wallace and Gromit characters. Big goofy smiles and exaggerated features. The humour is baked into these compositions, with the ridiculous illnesses a core part of each patient. Shoutouts to Cubism and 8-Bitten. The UI is really clean and is very readable in handheld mode. Keeping it just to 9 options on the main screen for hiring, patient stats and the like keep the game intuitive and quick to learn. Annoyingly, within menus, it can be a little bit more confusing, as the headers are chopped off in certain areas, but select a particular staff member and it'll have a full side menu with all the details, so an easy workaround. I always seem to bang on about music in these games. It's not my fault that most of these are great. Look, the main theme has been in my head for days, and they're really good homages to the original title, with great jaunty jazzy numbers. The music's really upbeat, which is crucial for what could be a really dark theme for their game. Even when things go wrong, it's still fun. Saying that, the death theme tune is really haunting whenever it plays. The general sounds, however, can get a bit much, with the cacophony of hospital noises, the staff announcer calling out issues, and having the shock jock DJ spouting nonsense. You kind of block it out after a while. It gets more pronounced the bigger and more complicated the hospital is. Shoutouts for sticking with the Brits for the voice acting though, great work. The hook here is the management loop. Spend your starting cash on the basics, and if you get it running right, your monthly income will be enough to expand and grow. Usually a patient will turn up with a condition you can't treat, so it encourages the player to make a new room and hire someone to run it. Each room requires a layout that you create manually. Alongside the key items for it to function, you can add whatever you like as long as you can afford it. Finding the right combinations of items to help diagnose or cure is a lot of fun. One extremely smart addition is the excellent copy room button. As you expand, you just copy a previous room with ease. In fact, you can save these as templates and use them throughout all subsequent levels. A fantastic feature. The level to level loop is actually really good, so whilst you usually start a hospital from scratch, there's enough variety in each level to stop things getting repetitive. Going through the phases of building up, expanding, and then waiting or tweaking to hit the 3-star goal, I usually found a readiness to start over again. If that doesn't work for you, you can always bail after just getting 1 star and move on to the next hospital. I spent over 70 hours in this game and it's really satisfying. How this stands out to other titles is that this is a proper management sim on Switch, which at the time was really impressive. It was beyond the wildest expectations for a Theme Hospital spiritual successor to come along after so long and for it to be that good. It was startling on Steam, let alone on the Switch. This really is the heir to Theme Hospital, not so much a copy but akin to identity theft. It's not like EA's doing anything with it anymore, so whatever. This is exactly what I wanted from a new series. During this era, it's particularly impressive how game developers seem to solve an age-old issue, porting PC games onto a console and taking that mouse control to work intuitively and smoothly on a controller. It's tough. Some genres are borderline unplayable, such as Command & Conquer Red Alert on the PS1. Real-time strategy without a mouse is incredibly clunky and slow. Sim games were a little better, though a fixed camera helped with Theme Park on the same console. However, 2 Point Hospital made huge strides on this, and it's a stellar example of how this should work on modern games. It's not completely solved, but with a fixed center point and easily navigable menus, ensure it's more than playable. Actually, in handheld mode on the go, it's absolutely amazing. Really intuitive. As expected for a management game, it's really deep. Over 40 hours of playtime and 15 starting hospitals in the base game. There are multiple modes to play, and there are remix levels once you hit the 3-star requirement in each hospital. It will keep you entertained for ages. And that's before they added all the DLC. The tropical-themed Pebbly Island, close encounters with its aliens, and off-the-grid's eco-friendliness. Plenty on offer here. What breaks the game, in a good way, are the items. Throughout the title you can buy new ones via the in-game currency Kudosh that complements your buildings or rooms. Medicine Cabinet increases the percentage chance for diagnosis, the Sonic Poster increases attractiveness. Unlocking the right ones can blow out a level and make for a much smoother time. There's a lot of Sonic items thanks to Sega. 2 Point Studios is a relatively new British game developer formed in 2016 with 2 of the original Theme Hospital devs in Mark Welby and Gary Carr. They wanted to create a successor and with the help of Sega built up the studio prior to 2 Point Hospital's release. Following on from this, Sega became their parent company in 2019. In 2022 they launched 2 Point Campus, a university-themed follow-up on Switch, PC and consoles. In early 2025, their third game, 2 Point Museum, will have come out, though sadly not on Switch. Here's hoping for a Switch 2 title. 2 Point Hospital was nominated for numerous awards including Best British Game at the BAFTAs and PC Game of the Year at the Golden Joysticks. The game reviewed incredibly well, with its humour and just how much it felt like Theme Hospital 2. It really is that good. How can a game live up to cherished 19 PC game memories? Well, it's fantastic, just what I wanted. They've really gone all in on this, particularly with how samey Theme Hospital would start to feel after a while. To keep things engaging, each hospital has its own gimmick, such as Smogley that is all about surgery, or meltdowns with its power plant causing damage. There's enough variety here to keep even the hardcore players happy. Playing the original title, the training was basic and broken, allowing the player to ramp up as many doctors as they could fit and max out their abilities really quickly. Here they have tweaked it to be oddly more realistic. Staff must work for a while until they can earn a promotion, and a new slot to train into. It's slower paced, but still feeds that training hunger. Research also has a huge dollar for this too, very satisfying. Marketing is a bit more meh. I do have criticisms though. It can be difficult to tell where you're going wrong, especially when it gets too big and complicated. Money problems can spiral fast, and it can be really hard to get back to profitability. Without the cash, you can't improve or add new rooms that are badly needed. There are loans, but that just puts you in a deeper into the hole. Sometimes you just have to restart, which is frustrating. The controls are good, though it's easy to get disorientated. Buildings can be really spread out in later levels and easily to get flipped around, particularly when you have a glut of GP rooms and it all looks the same inside. It can also be a bit finicky to select a particular item. Saying that, you can spam the rooms with items to max out the chance of a positive outcome. That min-max is not exactly required, but very desirable. They're all more mild inconveniences than anything else. This game is absolutely fantastic, everything I've wanted from a new one in almost 20 years. I've got to reiterate, Room Copy and Paste is a legendary addition. Finally, a shout out to the amazing British humour, peculiar and weird visual gags, akin to Thank Goodness You're Here. Though the best for me are the excellent names of staff and patients. Reg Knuckles, Jeanette Quiche, Denise Bog, Rodney Noise, and that's just my janitors. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more weekly Nintendo Switch video game essays. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go see a nurse about my flumps.